Hey guys, Chris and Jamie from Tillman Family Farms. So we've already had a little bit of excitement this morning. We got a call from the Sheriff's Department that said, hey, are y'all missing a black cow? Turns out, wasn't our black cow, thank goodness. Anyway, that's not what we're gonna talk about today. It was just interesting. So we want to talk about something today that we're very, very passionate about, and that's pastured pigs. But the aspect of what we're going to talk about is what is the reality of pigs physically on open pasture. So we've done a long-term project over the summer. We've had a feeder group that started off with 16 feeder pigs out here. We took 2 last week, and there's still 14 out here. But at first, we were really, really excited about this, and we've done a lot of things to accommodate this. We built this shade trailer that you can see right here. We've had a water system brought out here. But in this video, we're gonna go over some things, some pros and cons, and what we really feel about running pastured pigs on pasture. So guys, this summer, we have experienced some pretty extreme drought conditions, right? It's been really weird because we normally have, pretty good rain throughout the summer, and we started off with pretty good rain throughout the summer, but we followed the practices of regenerative farming pretty close. And I'm not saying that I won't do it, because if we had good rain, I feel like this would have all worked out fine. But the last 3 to 4 paddocks, they've had zero, they've gotten nothing from this. They've gotten destroyed. The heat has killed any extra stuff that would have helped to build the soil and all that kind of stuff. So everything that we've done, I don't want to say it's been in vain, but it really hasn't worked out. This section over here worked out pretty good. Grass is growing back much better than what it was when it had rain. But the other thing that has really gotten me a little bit disheartened about this is that if you look behind me, you see this shade trailer is all they got. And if you have an opportunity to mix a portion of woods or a big shade trees like we can in some of these places down here, it's not bad. But when they have only this shade trailer, this is where they spend 80% of their time. And then around this water barrel, this is what they do. They're digging these gigantic holes out here. Yes, pigs need a waller, but that's not a waller, that's a hole. And I've gone back with the tractor and fixed all of them except for 1 or 2. But so far, this has been pretty disheartening for us. We've got a wooded section all along this side of this big pasture that we're in that we may try to run pigs in next summer. The piglets that are being born now are all going to run through a section of woods that pigs ran through last year. So, and that did great for us. A lot of those trees bear some type of nut, acorns, hickory nuts, walnuts, whatever. So that's a good section for them to be in. But I just feel like it's going to take this section of pasture, which is about 2 acres, quite some time to regenerate. So we're going to go over here and we're going to look at the last, what I would consider good paddock that we had in this process before this drought stuff started hitting. There's patches, so we moved the chickens behind them. The chicken netting wasn't quite as big as what the pigs are in. So there's patches and there's lines of good grass and this and that. So, but I'm gonna take you through and just kind of show you where the good progression stopped when the drought kind of started, and let you kind of follow and just see the damage to open pasture versus a wooded area. Okay, so you can see where Jamie's walking right there. We started pigs way down the bottom of that hill in a training pen, and then we started moving them up this way. The first couple of sets did really good. They did make some holes. We filled them in. We got good rain, and this grass came back, and it was beautiful, nice and green. I mean, you can still see touches of good green grass that we haven't had rain on in 2 months. So then we can stop right here, and literally where you see this berm of grass right here, this one on this side was the last good paddock, in my opinion. As we start heading this way, things just started getting worse. The drought was getting worse, moving livestock across this ground, and it just wasn't good. You can see here where I filled in. I collected as much dirt as I could from right around here to fill it back in. So you know, the problems that I have here is that the drought has really done the damage, not so much the pigs on pasture. The extreme heat and no rain has basically killed off a lot of the microorganisms and everything else that we're trying to add to this, and it just didn't help. It just didn't do good. But this spot here was the last place that the chickens were, and we had some of them start molting, so there's feathers everywhere. But let's keep walking. We're gonna keep showing you guys what we experienced and how. So this is another spot up here that I filled that in the best I could. Like I said, I just kind of ran out of dirt. If you get over here, this is where part of the chicken's paddock stopped, and then there were no pigs in this area because their paddock started where you see that other berm right there. So this paddock is where I started to overseed, and we had one brief, very brief rain shower. So some of this seed started to germinate, and it looks like some of it is still kind of growing, but like I say, no rain, it's whooping our butts. After that, we moved this whole line of rope out that way, and then we started back this way, and you can see that straight down through there is where the new paddock started on this side, and none of this has even had the opportunity to regenerate. So the mornings are starting to get chilly, days are still hot. We're in Georgia, so October is where we're at, and sometimes on Christmas Day we can still wear shorts. Anyway, so here's another hole that hasn't been fixed yet. I mean, you can tell the little bit of grass that was around it and whatnot is the only thing that's halfway green. And then of course you got a whole nother paddock of dead, and then that's where the pigs are now. They got one more stomp down the hill, and then they're going to move over and come back this way. That group of pigs starts going in December. So at this point, we've taken all of our electric rope down and all that stuff, and kind of just giving back to the cows what's over there. We've got a load of hay coming today, hopefully. But it's getting rough out here in the grass-fed world, I'm gonna tell you. Especially right now with this drought that we got going on here in Georgia. But anyhow, that might give them a day or two's worth of munch. Somebody's excited on the other side over there. Jamie videoed a little bit over there too, so you'll be able to see a little bit better how much is over there. So all in all, this over here, I don't want to call it a failure, because it's really not. You know, if we'd had rain like we thought should have this summer, nobody predicted a drought or anything like that. But this area over here was going to be kind of our winter stockpile type deal. We were going to overseed this and keep the other animals out of here and all that stuff. But with the drought, and we hadn't been able to get a delivery of hay just yet, which we may just be fixing to load up and go get some extra as well, because we're gonna have to hay the dog mess out of these fellas. But we just need to give them this over here, what's here. So we've turned them in it, and we're gonna move the pigs through and just keep moving them just like we are. They'll have some shade down there in the bottom. Of course, it's getting cooler. Like I said earlier, it's cooler in the mornings and cooler in the afternoon. Still kind of warm during the middle of the day. But this grass over here is much better, much healthier. But we didn't get enough rain on it. I mean, that's kind of the moral of the story here, was that the drought kind of got us pretty good. But anyway, we just thought that long-term project-wise and what we thought about running pigs through, sure enough, open pasture like this, that we would give our thoughts on that, since we've done a couple other videos on this particular setup. So, you know, I'm not gonna say no. I won't say that I won't do it again, but we kind of learned a tough lesson with it this year. So anyway, we're gonna close this one down. We appreciate you guys watching. Love all y'all for the comments and everything that you do for us. And if you don't mind, please go down and like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.